Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Good evening.
Hello!
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
And there's snow outside. It's like a white Christmas coming up. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Will they, won't they? That's the seasonal climate changes this year. Will they, won't they? Snow? No snow.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I hear jingle bells.
I hear jingle bells too.
Oh my gosh, is there something on the roof?
Whoa, that was wild.
Maybe that's our kitten playing with a bell.
It could be. Or it could be Santa Claus. Who knows?
So, okay, we haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be... It's great to be back.
Aren't you glad I gave a really loud toy to our kitten?
So glad you gave a giant bell to our cat. I am very, very glad. So, if Santa Claus were to deliver something to you for the podcast over the holiday season, what would it be?
That question was crazy. If Santa were to deliver something to me for the podcast?
Yes. You know, like
a movie?
Yeah, exactly.
What movie would Santa bring me?
Yeah.
He'd bring me Die Hard.
He would bring you Die Hard.
Yeah.
We've already covered Die Hard on this podcast.
I know, but I feel like maybe there's more. There might be more.
You think there might be more?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know what we're watching tonight?
I have no idea what we're watching tonight. Die Hard. Die Hard.
We are watching a movie called Live Free.
That's a Die Hard movie.
Or Die Hard.
Yes! yes.
It's Die Hard, not 1, not 2, not 3, but Die Hard 4.
There's a fourth one.
There's a fourth one.
I knew it.
Yeah, there's a fourth one.
Bruce Willis wasn't done.
He was not. No. He wanted to live a bit freer, and he wanted to try dying even harder.
What is the plot going to be?
Who's
the bad guy? Does he have an accent? They all do.
They usually do. That's
and then
true.
He's got to have a cop or a guy on the inside sort of thing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what you mean. Can you go into that one a bit more?
Okay, well, he's usually the guy on the inside.
Oh, got it.
But then he has like a cop that's like talking him through everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. So you know nothing about this one?
Nothing.
Did you know it existed before,
I feel like maybe we mentioned it, or
okay.
I was hoping. I had like this hope, and I know it came from somewhere.
It's
I don't
Christmas
know.
miracle. Okay. All right. So what are some things that you're looking forward to? Like if it happened in the movie, you would be stoked. Psyched, excited, happy.
Like Bruce Willis doing his thing, like figuring stuff out and like being cooler than everyone else. He's
pretty cool.
Man, he's so cool.
He's so cool. All right. Anything you're dreading about this or scared of?
Scared.
Yeah.
I have no dread. This is the season of peace. I'm peace. I'm at peace.
Okay.
I have no dread. This is going to be great.
You don't have dreads. That's true. You haven't ever tried that hairstyle.
I wash my hair too frequently.
Wow. I have a confession to make. I actually don't know if I've seen this one end to end.
What does that mean? So like you've dropped in
I've seen pieces of
cable or something?
I don't remember watching it like in one sitting. I think I probably saw this came out, well, spoilers, it came out later than the other ones, right? So it was beyond my TBS days. I reference seeing things on TBS a lot. This is way beyond that time of my life.
Number 3 had Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Yeah, it did. He was so good in that one.
I know. Who is going to be in this one?
Who indeed? I know some of the people who are in it, so I'm excited for you to respond to them.
Okay.
But we can definitely check that out afterwards. But
do you know who you would never expect to be in the Die Hard movie?
Who?
Danny DeVito. Wouldn't that totally just throw you for a loop?
That would throw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Anybody else you wouldn't expect to see in a Die Hard movie? Anyone else?
I don't know why. He just popped into my head. I don't know.
I'm dangerously close to trying a Danny DeVito impression right now, so you better start talking. It's dangerously close.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Rapid fire thoughts.
Sure.
Joel McHale from Community.
Okay.
Because we talked about Community earlier today.
Okay.
And then I thought about The Cosby Show. You wouldn't
want
expect to see
anyone from The Cosby Show? You don't? No?
You wouldn't expect to see anyone. Oh my God.
You okay over there? Is the Die Hard going to your
so
head?
Excited.
Uh-huh. I could see. It's palpable. I can feel the energy.
I'm just...
Breathe.
Okay, we haven't done this in so long.
Yes.
Like the uncontrollable giggles have
giggles.
come back.
You've got the giggles.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm saying things that don't make sense.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, okay.
I've met this woman before. She's quite a hoot to hang out with.
A hoot.
All right. Give me the movie poster and the tagline, and then we can go.
Live free or die hard.
Yes.
There's got to be like an American flag somewhere
Okay.
on it. And a Christmas tree. Hopefully this. It might not be. It might not be.
The look
Christmas
of sorrow in your eyes right now.
I guess
is so
that's what
intense.
I'm dreading.
Okay. You're dreading it
It
not
might
being
not
a
be
Christmas
movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm just processing.
I know, I'm listening.
There's so much coming at me right now.
I'm here for you.
Okay. So I want it to be Christmassy. Maybe the tree at Rockefeller Plaza.
Okay.
And Bruce Willis.
Okay.
Looking cool.
He's looking cool. There's
and then Joel McHale.
Joel McHale. Okay.
In the background. I don't know.
Okay.
Tagline. How can you have a better tagline than the title? Live free or die hard.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I think that's a fair play.
Okay.
You want to play that?
Yeah, I'm playing that.
All right. Period. I'd say live free or die hard, period.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Let's go check it out.
Yes.
I'm doing America a favor. Is the country willing to pay for it?
FAA just issued a critical alert. The entire network went down.
Transportation system is crashing and they just hit the entire financial sector.
You have no idea who you're dealing with.
I'll take it from here.
You just killed a helicopter with a car!
I was out of bullets.
Russo, check in.
Hold on a minute. Looks like he's coming around. You see that?
Yeah, I saw it. I did it.
Hang on.
Officer McClane, I need you to behave.
Daddy.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go kill this guy and get my daughter. Or go get my daughter and kill this guy. Or kill all of them.
Is that your best shot?
Did you want to say something?
Yippee-ki-yay, brother.
Why'd you bring a cop into my command center?
Command center. It's a basement.
Who is this man?
Well,
Holy action.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. That was exactly what I wanted it to be.
Was
and
it?
more. Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes, totally.
Wow. I haven't seen that. I don't know if I don't know if I'd seen that all the way through. It was great to watch from, beginning to end. It was very delightful. And by delightful, I mean McClane-licious. What did you, before we get too deep into it, give us a quick summary of the movie, please.
Okay. This is like a hacker movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the whole thing is that there's these bad guys and woman who
Bad folk.
want to just like, don't you call it table flip? They just want to like
Table flip.
they want to like
It's a little bit more than table flipping, but
they want to shut everything down. They want
Yes.
to take away all the infrastructure.
Yes.
They want to create chaos.
yeah.
And they're doing it through hacking. And there's this one guy played by Justin Long.
hmm
Whoa, forgot about him.
He exists.
He exists. And he like wrote some code that they used or something. And so they're coming after and like killing all the people who wrote this code that they're going to be using. And so the FBI taps local law enforcement, hint, John McClane, and asks them to go like protect these guys that are going to get killed that they know about.
Yeah.
And so he does. And then, of course, the bad guys come after him, but he saves Justin Long.
Of course.
And the whole movie is about him saving and protecting Justin Long,
Mhm.
and also like figuring out who these guys are, and thwarting their plans.
Yes.
And it's like big action.
It's huge
It-
action.
They left Nakatomi Tower,
Yes.
which was like a contained action. Love it. But now it's like out and about in the world, and it's big
Yeah.
explosions and everything.
Yeah. And part two recap was, in the airport. So that was contained into itself to a degree.
Yeah.
Part three, they were running around New York City. In this one, though, it's like Eastern Seaboard. Like,
Yeah.
they're in DC. They go to Virginia, which is right next to DC, but still,
He flies a helicopter.
he flies a helicopter. He shows off the shorn Bruce Willis look for the first time in the McClane movies.
What do you mean?
Shaved head.
Oh, okay.
He has hair in the other ones.
Does
He has
he?
no hair in this one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie is awesome. I kept thinking this is a 90s movie. It feels like a 90s movie, and you keep insisting that it's not.
It's
What year
not.
was it actually made?
2007. This was made
Really?
12 years after part three.
Okay. Wow.
Which was after part two, they were like, no, we're just coming up with names with Die Hard in the title. So this one, as we said, is Live Free or Die Hard. And then the one before was Die Hard with a Vengeance. That was part three.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing, so this movie was great. The only thing missing was there was a bad guy who had an accent. So they did still
They had
have
the
that
French
bit.
commando.
Yeah,
Yes.
Timothy Oliphant was like the main
He was the
bad guy.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman who like is his like love interest. You don't really know that. She's also a strong villain leader of what's happening.
Maggie Q. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she I recently have been seeing her on Designated Survivor.
Oh boy.
She looks exactly the same. Like she has not aged.
Ageless. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That happens.
But okay, so we kept saying like maybe this movie just has like a 90s hangover.
Could
Because
be.
it feels very 90s. Like it feels Matrixy in the beginning. The colors, it's gritty, it's
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Like just the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally gave me 90s vibes. Okay, I'll stop.
I mean,
I've said it enough.
I get it. Like, and a big plot of like the movie is like fallout from 9/11, which was, 8 years earlier, but stuff kind of moves slow storyline wise sometimes. But it definitely does have that feel. And I think the thing that makes it feel like that even more is like the movies in the 90s were dark and dingy, but also like graphics were starting to like level up, like
Mhm.
computer interface graphics,
Mhm.
So they feel very dated in the 90s. And this just shows you how much things have evolved in the past 20 years, that they feel that much. 2007 like graphic interfaces on computers and stuff feel pretty dated now too, which I think also lends it in your mind. You're like, oh, the olden days,
Yeah, totally.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that contributes to it a bit. This totally had, though, like, when he jumped on a jet, I almost lost my mind of like, is this a Die Hard film still? He's on a jet? He's being attacked by like a jet. And what was it about the jet you said when you saw it? You said like, that's not real, or it's CGI or something, right?
Oh, I didn't think we had jets that could do that, because what
Like
was
hovering,
happening, this is
yeah.
like towards the end, so the action is getting bigger and
Yes.
it's ratcheting up.
Yes.
And he's in a semi truck McClane's driving a semi-truck through the streets of New York.
Yes.
And then there's this like fighter jet that comes after him.
Yes.
And the jet is supposed to nuke the truck. Bomb the truck.
Yes, destroy the truck. Yeah.
And there's a part where it kind of like the fighter jet like dips way down low in the city streets, and it kind of like hovers up and down, and it's like peeking through this like under overpass or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, our jets can't do that. Right? Like it looked impossible to me that it was like maneuvering like this. It just kind of like went in and out. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And you were like, no, yeah, our military has capabilities.
Yes.
And yes, our jets can do that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah. This is what happens when you miss movies. You miss all the latest technology that's shown off in that kind of stuff. The F-35 was the plane. It was a jet. The director actually was the pilot of it. He did like a cameo.
Everyone can fly a plane or a helicopter.
Yeah. It's interesting though, because, this time of year, there are very strange things in the sky in December. Mm-hmm. Santa Claus and whatnot, as well as
unknown drones that have
quote
unquote drones.
Yeah, that have been peppering the eastern seaboard, just like in this movie.
I know. I just heard that like police have been given permission to shoot them down.
Ooh.
But and this comes through watching Stephen Colbert.
Of course.
His point was, should we be shooting at the sky during Christmas? Like, what about Santa?
Yeah, you could get Santa.
I know.
It's dangerous.
So, but okay, it is Christmas and we watched this movie, but it wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a Christmas movie.
No.
The holiday that takes place is the 4th of July.
Yeah, how are you doing with that emotionally? You okay?
It was lacking in holiday. Like, it only mentioned the 4th of July like twice, maybe. It wasn't as prevalent as like the holidays in the other movies.
Yeah, but how were you emotionally? I know you were really looking forward to and hoping that this was takes place during Christmas. You okay? You doing all right?
We're watching the original, right? As long as we watch the original this year, I'm fine.
I never tell you what I'm getting you for Christmas.
I'm planning on watching the original, which will take care of that.
Okay.
Christmassy, Die Hard.
It'll be, got it.
Yeah.
It's really not the Christmas season without watching Die Hard, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I agree.
I'm on board with that now.
This one though, like I don't even think, I want to say, I remember hearing someone say the long weekend, the 4-day weekend. But I don't remember them actually mentioning July or the 4th of July. Like, I don't.
It gets mentioned.
Does
somewhere.
it get mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
It's so brief that it did not sit in my head. I remember like waiting for mentions or seeing flags all over the place because usually flags are around. Didn't see that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was definitely lacking.
It was very muted. Yeah, I agree. So, do you think they can do a Die Hard movie that doesn't involve a holiday? I think Vengeance. I can't remember if that was during a holiday or not, but
if I were making another Die Hard movie, I would insist that it be around a holiday. That's part of the franchise.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Would you just cruise on through all the holidays then? What would you think?
What do you mean cruise through
like
holidays?
Would you just literally start going, all right, the next one's St. Patty's Day. The next one's Valentine's Day.
No.
Or
No, I don't know which one I would do, but I would think carefully about like what I want to have happen in my movie and what holiday would best showcase that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Part 3 is just an unspecified time. I just confirmed because it was going to bother me.
Okay.
Unspecified time. So they broke the mold. But you can break the mold with tradition like that as long as you have one key thing in a movie.
What's that?
Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson was in part 3 and he was amazing.
Right.
So I feel like they had a pass on that. But he wasn't in this one, so he had to swing back to like holiday season, I think.
But you know who was in this one that was a total weird surprise?
Who?
Kevin Smith. What?
Indeed.
What?
Yeah, when his name came across the credits, your reaction was enjoyable. You were starting to emote and respond. I thought that was quite delightful.
I forgot this about him, but he has a great voice.
He has a delightful voice.
It's smooth as silk.
And, if you've watched his movies where he's Silent Bob or Jane Silent Bob, like he rarely talks. He says like one line in the movies. Spoilers.
Right.
But yeah, he has a very smooth, deep voice. It's enjoyable to listen to him talk.
Mm-hmm.
We heard him talk a lot at Comic-Con. He just curses every other word when he's not in a movie. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this was perfect.
Yeah, it was great. What about this movie like surprised you?
Besides Kevin Smith?
Sure, besides Kevin Smith, yeah.
Probably the
story-wise.
huge action at the end.
Yeah.
It really got crazy.
Mhm.
Story-wise, they brought his daughter into it, and
Yes, Ramona.
not a surprise. Yeah, Ramona Flowers.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Yeah, she was good.
Justin Long was a surprise.
Yep.
Yeah, what about you? Were there any surprises for you?
This movie, it wasn't surprising in as much as it's like a time capsule. This has so many actors who you're like, I've seen them as agents in so many movies. Like, there's just a lot of them. If you watch it, you're like, oh, I know that guy from, where do I know that guy from? I know that guy from Necktie movie I've seen before.
Yeah. The guy with the like
Yes.
really light, is it blonde? Is it gray
Yes.
hair?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
There's tons of them. And Cliff Curtis, he was the head FBI guy. He has been in a lot of movies where he's agents and bad guys, and he's just been in a ton of stuff. So it's cool seeing people pop up. I love that. You feel like it's a mini feeling of being in a club because you're like, oh yeah, I know that guy. It's like, yeah.
And if you ever visited the FBI headquarters, like on a tour, you would expect to see them there.
You pretty much
because
would.
they are part of the FBI in our minds.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably one of the weirdest things. It was a cool thing they did. Like they did this ransom note. What'd you think of all the cyber stuff? Did it hold up for you, or did it feel cheesy?
It pretty much held up. It's like far enough into the 2000s to where, because I also remember that time.
Sure.
I think like our kids watching it now would be like, why is he plugging in to the thing to check his phone?
Yeah.
That has a keyboard on it. That was weird.
Yeah.
But to me, that didn't seem like a stretch at all.
Right. Actually, it oddly helps you being a modern audience watching it, because you see if you watch that in 2007 and we're like, he's doing what on his phone? Like the fact that you could have a fast enough connection to do all the stuff he's doing, you'd be like, no way. But nowadays you're so used to like the speed of internet, like wireless internet, that it feels like the weirdness is the mechanics, not the actual like action.
There's also a part where he has like this roll up keyboard.
Yeah.
And then he like unfurls it
Yeah.
and starts typing away or whatever.
Yes, that was the nerdiest part of the movie. I remember when those came out, and they're silicone keyboards, and you can roll them up, and you kind of like unroll them like a big red carpet, and it splays and unspools, and then you can type on it.
Yeah.
They feel horrible to type on.
Yeah.
This is why they're not around anymore, because they feel horrible, and it's very like error prone using them.
Did you have one?
I can't remember if I bought one or not, or if a friend had one. I probably had one at some point, because it was such a nerdy, like, you could do this anywhere, but it's like, why would you want to do it anywhere unless you're this guy and caught a terrorist action trying to save the world?
Yeah.
But yeah, that tech, that was definitely a great nerd flourish and little thing to pepper in.
I also really like in a movie when, the bad guy, Timothy Oliphant, can say, like, stop them. And then clickety click, all the lights, like all the traffic lights turn red or whatever. And it's like the power of hacking. Yeah. I love it when movies show you that.
Yeah, it is. And nowadays it's like beyond the point of it's scary now. Back in the day, it was just like, ooh, in hackers, I can make a movie play on a TV show.
No, it's still
network.
Scary.
Oh,
I think all of that's still scary.
It is. I mean, the levels that now though, like you could have drones that like bomb you and things like that, whereas like that didn't exist in the 90s, etc. So anyway, they're both scary. I agree. The time you're living in, they were scary. One of the things they did is the part of their ransom note, remember, like they took over all the airways, all the TVs were shut down, and then they had this ransom note of like presidents saying things from footage, and it like said their message of what it was. Do you want to guess how long it took them to assemble that? That was pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I don't know, days. It took them 4 months
Wow.
to cobble that together.
4 months of days. That's what I meant. Wow.
Nice save.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right?
Wow, I'm blown away by that.
Yeah. So, do you think this is like a rotation Die Hard movie, or is this I saw it, I'm good, I'll never watch it again?
Oh, I don't feel like I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It was great. I enjoyed it.
I did too. It was a nice ride. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the McClaneism in this one? Like Bruce Willis's portrayal of John McClane. Did you notice anything, or how did it feel for you?
He had way less. It felt less like his catchphrase sort of stuff. It was a little bit toned down. There was still a couple like moments where he said "yippee-ki-yay," and he had like the banter with Justin Long, like that back and forth, and then with the daughter too. But it definitely felt like toned down.
Yeah.
You asked it, so why did you ask the question? Did you think?
I think it's interesting because it's so much. It's what did I say? 12 years after the last one, right? Which is even this is like 20 years after the first one. So I think it's interesting how he kind of like he grew with the character, in his portrayal a bit. Like they do a lot of cool little nods. They do the nod of like his daughter, like not doing the last name, like Gennaro in the first movie. His wife did that.
Yeah.
And other things like him driving the semi, like that's kind of feels like a nod to part 3 where there's semi driving and all that stuff. But I love his curmudgeoniness. And it feels like his curmudgeoniness like got ratcheted up a little bit. Like it went up a level. He was always curmudgeon. That's what's so lovable about John McClane. He's like, he's there no matter what. They even touch on that theme in this movie. It's like, you're not a great guy, but you're the guy who's there and willing to do it. You know what I mean? Like that was like a thread in the movie with him and Justin Long. I thought it was good. Like and it's also thinking about how much further away from when the other movies were. Like it still felt like the same person versus like Bruce Willis, So
does feel like the same person. Yeah, for sure.
He did a good job of keeping the McClane in, I guess. He definitely felt more like, it didn't feel like a John McClane movie. It felt like a movie that John McClane just happened to be in.
Maybe that's the toned down portion I'm seeing. Yeah.
I think so.
So there's a bad guy we wanted to talk about.
Oh, the French commando, or which bad guy? Which one are we talking about?
The one who was doing like crazy.
The gymnast?
Yes, the gymnast.
Yeah, it was like parkour. This came out, I think, right after Casino Royale, if I recall correctly. And Casino Royale with Daniel Craig famously had like parkour, which if you don't know what parkour is, it's where you like climb buildings or structures. You're just climbing it organically. Like you can jump over a fence, or you can get to a 3rd floor building by jumping back and forth between fire escapes, etc. Parkour. But there was one dude in this where I was seeing the parkour he was doing, and some of it I was like, what is going on? Like, this was a year after Casino Royale. He was so, what did you liken it to? There was one scene where they fall into a refrigerated computer core or something like that. And there's all these pipes. And they're fighting on the pipes, right?
Yeah, and then there's also like the ubiquitous metal bridge going through the middle of this room.
Yes.
That if you fall off, you could die because there's like a fan underneath you.
It was like blades or yeah. Uh-huh.
It reminded me of Jurassic Park 2.
Part 2, yeah.
Yeah, where that girl does all of her gymnast moves in that building.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, why are you dropping this in? This is like totally has nothing to do with the movie.
The only thing I can explain for that is he was on metaphorical catnip, the commando, right? Because right before this scene, the big bad guy is like, you can have my dead girlfriend's cut if you take out McClane. So he was probably just so excited that he was going to get her cut of the billions of dollars or trillions of dollars that he was just overly hyper, would be my guess. because he literally looked like a little hamster bouncing around in the flipping he was doing.
He did.
It was insane.
It was totally, to me, that's kind of, it's just gimmicky.
Yeah.
It's like an action movie gimmick where they have to have something, I don't know, someone who like seems like hard to beat, like a big bad boss or something.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I was like, I don't know.
It felt a lot like in a 007 movie, actually. Actually, this movie probably felt more like a 007 movie than the other ones, now that I think about it. Because they were like, the villains had special skills. They were very specialized versus like usually he just generically has bad guys. They're just like commandos. But like this, we had Mr. Flippy Pants. We'll call him Mr. Flippy Pants. You had Maggie Q, who was like infiltrator and also kung fu master, right? Or karate master. And then you had specific hacker guys. So it felt like he had like a rogues gallery to go through versus like a whole bunch of faceless bad guys. Anyway.
But overall,
Mr. Flippy Pants was very. I want to watch it again just to see the flippiness, honestly. Just that part. Because I remember seeing it and going, what did he just do?
It happened so fast, too. Yeah.
Yeah. And thankfully, McClane takes him out quick, so he didn't have to do that many flips. But it would have gotten more tricky, I think, and more over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, in general, do you think the movie holds up well?
I do. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And are there any scenes that we mentioned that we didn't talk about, or anything you wanted to talk about in general about this one?
You go first.
I love that Kevin Smith lives in his mom's basement. It's just such a great detail. It's very expected for the whole stereotypical hacker, like, Mom, don't let him into my lair. Like, but it's just, some things are just funny. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That part, I really like that. I also knew they were going to come back to the daughter and have her be a problem. Like they show her in the beginning, he does the protective dad thing. And then you don't see her for like 90% of the movie. And then they bring her back at the very end. You knew that was going to happen, but kind of felt like it had to, but still.
Yeah, no, I liked the daughter actually. And
I like the character a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how she was kind of like, that's my dad, or kind of like, you're in trouble now because he's coming.
Yeah, when they like the terrorists thought she was going to be very afraid, and so when they put her on for like proof of life, she's like, there are 5 of them left. She like gives him intel.
And Timothy's eyes are like unbelievable. He could not believe that she did that. That was really good acting. Yeah. So I liked her part in the movie. Yeah.
He's a really fun character not to like, Timothy. Like, he can be very smarmy.
Yes.
And he did really good at that. I also, too, I told you this, like, right after the movie, like, I was like, I root for people who are doing what he's doing because it is so complex and so difficult to orchestrate all of that. Part of me is like, man, I really hope it works out for him because all that effort and planning, it's a lot of work.
We, like halfway through the movie, we didn't really still know what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just like,
I don't even remember what he was trying to do.
Just breaking everything down, but also somehow cashing in on it.
Yeah. I think, now that we say it, he tried to like whistleblow and say how vulnerable the U.S. was.
Fire sale. That was the word for it. Fire
yes.
sale.
And so they didn't listen to him, and then they tanked his career. So now he got his whole crew back together. He's going to show everybody how vulnerable stuff is. And by the way, just take all the money from everywhere.
Yeah.
And bankrupt the United States.
Every time they said fire sale, I just pictured Tobias Funke
Yeah.
from Arrested Development trying to do the commercial for the fire sale.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love it.
Now I'm picturing everyone in the cast in little cut-off denim shorts. Anyway, there are dozens of us. The thing with a plot like this, though, is if you're going to take that much money, they were literally talking about taking all of the money of the United States. Like all the backups of the records, the financial records for all the money, and just taking all of it. That amount of money, I'm like, where do you take that? Where in the world could you even be like, hey, bank, I have whatever it is, $16 trillion.
So you think they should have made the bad guys a little more realistic in their
Maybe.
evil plans?
Maybe. I don't know. It feels like you can't execute on it once you get it. So that's just I would have brought that up in the team meeting when we were talking about the plans. I definitely would have raised my hand. It probably got shot, but I would have said it. And,
Oh, I thought you meant in like the planning for the movie.
No, I mean
You
like
mean
in the
bad
terrorist
guys.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like raise my hand and be like, excuse me, Tim, question here. Once we get through this, what are we going to do? How are we going to get the money? That kind of stuff. So,
Tim.
yeah. If you had to be one of John McClane's relatives, what would you be?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I would be like the cool one
Of course, obviously.
that he can just
Yeah.
like, come over and have a beer
Okay.
and like hang out with.
Okay.
So that's probably like a cousin.
A cousin? Okay.
I'd say. Yeah.
Okay.
We grew up together,
Got it.
had holidays and birthdays together, so we know each other.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Dream come true.
Dream come
just
true.
cousin to Bruce Willis. Just
Yep.
hang out with him.
Whoa, John McClane, not Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Just
You know what I meant.
either or, though, still.
Either or.
I would definitely want to be like a fourth cousin who tries to insert myself into his life because I admire him, but he's really annoyed by me. So it'd almost be like comic relief. Like, why is this guy here? That's what I would be.
Okay. Looking for the comic relief.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think this movie also does a good job of comic relief. It's not too
It
much.
does.
It's just the right amount.
Yes, there were a couple good laugh moments. The one stinger at the end that I really liked was Justin Long, after it was all done, was like, did your daughter, did she
Yeah.
say anything about me? And you're like, that's funny because he's a nerd. And then he goes to his daughter and she said, did he say anything about me?
Yeah, that's good.
That was really good. Wow. So what, if any, messages do you think were in this film, Melissa?
Oh gosh. Like treat people with respect so they don't come back and hack everything and try to shut everything down and do a fire sale.
Open door policy or whistleblower policy. Respect the whistleblowers. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
Always have a collapsible keyboard on you. That's the message of this movie. The United States would be done for if that keyboard had not been present.
That's true.
It totally would have been tanked.
That saved the day
It
more
really
than
did.
McClane.
Yeah. And also too, like, opposites attract, or opposites are fun to watch.
Yeah, you mean McClane and Justin
Yeah,
Long?
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good what is it called? Odd couple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Laurel and Hardy, The Odd Couple, etc. Tales all this time. You have two people who are very, very different, and they find a thread of commonality, and it's very fun to watch unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right. So anything else? Or do you want to go like try and defuse a bomb?
I'm going to say Happy 4th of July, Merry Christmas. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Tell us what you think of this film in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.